The 7 levels of team dominance. Level 1. Trash. HRT 2010 to 2012. When Formula One opened its doors to new teams in 2010, Hispania Racing Team showed up like a student who realised there was an exam halfway through the test. Their car barely passed the mandatory crash tests and missed pre-season completely. It arrived at the first Grand Prix unfinished, taped together in the garage as mechanics scrambled to assemble it in public view. Funding came in bursts, ownership changed within months, and engineering progress moved slower than their lap times. The F110 chassis was overweight, underdeveloped, and often too unreliable to even qualify. Over 3 seasons, HRT competed in 56 Grands Prix and scored exactly 0 points. Their highlight reel mostly consisted of surviving blue flags and praying not to be lapped 3 times. Drivers came and went: Bruno Senna, Narain Karthikeyan, Vitantonio Liuzzi, all chasing a seat that barely guaranteed race completion. By 2012, financial collapse forced the team to miss payments and fold before the following season. They became a cautionary tale on how enthusiasm alone gets you nowhere when the stopwatch doesn't lie. Caterham, 2012 to 2014. If ambition could earn points, Caterham would have been champions. Brought to life under Tony Fernandez with flashy branding and promises of innovation, the team was meant to resurrect the Lotus spirit. Instead, it became another modern case of too little, too soon. Despite good intentions, the green cars rarely escaped the back row. They occasionally fought with Marussia or HRT, but only for the honour of being last. Their engineering base expanded, their budgets tightened, and their patience evaporated. By 2014, financial trouble hit hard. Staff went unpaid, the team entered administration, and fans crowdfunded their final race appearance at Abu Dhabi. It was an unusual and bittersweet goodbye, a team pushed onto the grid not by corporate sponsors, but by fan donations. Level 2. Bad. Brawn GP, 2009. When Honda quit Formula One at the end of 2008, everyone thought their factory team was finished. Then came Ross Brawn, the quiet engineer who turned chaos into legend. He bought the entire operation for £1, fitted it with a Mercedes engine, and unleashed the BGP001, a car that broke the sport. Its secret weapon was the double diffuser, a loophole in the aerodynamic rules that turned the car into a rocket ship, while the rest of the grid scrambled to understand why it was so fast. From the first race in Melbourne, Brawn GP shocked the world. Jenson Button won 6 of the first 7 Grands Prix, building a title lead so big that no mid-season slump could erase it. It was preparation disguised as survival. Behind the scenes, though, the money was running out, spare parts were limited, and development froze mid-year. Rivals caught up, and by the season's end, the fairy tale was already fading. Brawn GP clinched both championships, sold to Mercedes, and disappeared from the grid after just 1 season. 1 title, 1 team name, one of the greatest one-hit wonders in motorsport history. Toyota F1, 2002 to 2009. If effort and money guaranteed results, Toyota would have been untouchable. The Japanese giant entered Formula One with the largest budget in the paddock, more than Ferrari, McLaren, and Williams combined at the time. Their Cologne headquarters was a marvel of technology: wind tunnels, simulators, and precision engineering that mirrored their road car empire. What they didn't have was rhythm. Year after year, they rolled out fast but fragile machinery that never quite found the winning setup. Podiums came occasionally. Jarno Trulli and Ralf Schumacher showed flashes of speed, but victories stayed out of reach. Internal politics and conservative decision-making suffocated innovation. Engineers were shuffled, leadership changed constantly, and by 2009, as the global recession hit, the company had enough. They left Formula One without a single win to show for nearly a decade of effort and billions spent. Toyota's F1 program became a textbook example of how resources alone can't overcome the culture shock of racing at the sport's highest level. BMW Sauber, 2006 to 2009. BMW's partnership with Sauber began with purpose. They weren't here to play catch-up, they came to challenge for championships. The 2008 season was their peak. Robert Kubica's win in Canada marked a defining moment. putting them ahead of both Ferrari and McLaren in the standings. For a few weeks, the paddock whispered about a possible title fight. Then came the misstep. The team shifted focus to developing their 2009 car early, convinced they could leap ahead under new regulations. The gamble backfired. Their 2009 car struggled immediately. The KERS system failed to deliver, and by mid-season, BMW had announced its complete withdrawal from the sport. All that potential vanished into corporate boardroom caution. The team that once looked ready to reshape the balance of power ended up as another reminder that in Formula One, success isn't just about reaching the front, it's about surviving long enough to stay there. Level 3, Mid. Williams, 2014 to 2017. After years in the wilderness, Williams came back to life at the dawn of Formula One's hybrid era. The team struck gold with a new Mercedes power unit, and for the first time in a decade, the cars looked competitive again. The FW36 and FW37 were aerodynamic minimalists, slippery, fast on the straights, and perfectly suited for circuits like Monza and Austria. With Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa behind the wheel, podiums returned, and for a while, the nostalgia of the 1990s glory days flickered again. Their pit stops were sharp, strategy crisp, and energy high. Yet, under the surface, the limitations showed. The car thrived on power tracks, but lost ground in high downforce corners. Their development budget lagged behind the top teams, and as new regulations arrived, that momentum started to slip away. By 2017, the team had fallen back into the midfield maze, relying on flashes of speed instead of consistent results. It was a short-lived revival that even heritage teams need more than history to stay relevant. Alpine/Renault, 2000s-20s. Few teams have reinvented themselves as often as Renault's modern project. Branded as Alpine since 2021, the team inherited decades of French racing ambition, but has spent most of the hybrid era chasing an identity. There have been bright moments: Esteban Ocon's surprise win in Hungary 2021, Pierre Gasly's podium in 2023, and Fernando Alonso's fiery comebacks, but never a sense of direction that lasted. The team's in-stone factory has the potential, yet constant leadership changes keep resetting progress. Technical chiefs come and go, long-term goals dissolve, and every season begins with new slogans and similar results. They build decent cars, fast enough for points, occasionally podiums, but never machines that make rivals nervous. The talent behind the wheel keeps the team visible, but their performance curve stays flat. For all their resources, Alpine remains in a holding pattern, caught between the promise of resurgence and the gravity of mediocrity. Level 4. Okay. Benetton, 1994 to 1995. For a short window in the mid-1990s, Benetton became Formula One's surprise powerhouse. The small team from Enstone had always been quick, but under the sharp leadership of Flavio Briatore and technical minds like Ross Brawn and Rory Byrne, they found the formula that everyone else was chasing. With Michael Schumacher behind the wheel, they became an operation defined by precision and aggression. The 1994 season was wild. Controversies over technical legality, tense title fights, and a tragic backdrop following Ayrton Senna's accident. Yet Benetton kept winning. Schumacher's consistency and the team's strategy calls put them on top, making them the first outfit to break the Ferrari-McLaren-Williams stranglehold. By 1995, they refined everything: the B195 car, the Renault engine partnership, and team execution. Schumacher dominated, taking 9 victories and clinching both championships with ease. But when he left for Ferrari, the magic went with him. Within a year, the win stopped, and Benetton faded back into the midfield before transforming into Renault. 2 seasons of near perfection, built on one driver and one team of engineers who turned ambition into results. McLaren, 2007 to 2012. McLaren's late 2000s and early 2010s run is one of Formula One's great almost stories. They had the technology, the drivers, and the resources to rule an era, yet they rarely stitched it together for long enough. The 2007 season started with one of the strongest lineups ever: Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso in equal machinery. The tension exploded into one of the sport's most dramatic seasons, ending with both drivers losing the title by a single point and the team engulfed in the Spygate scandal. Even so, McLaren kept producing exceptional cars. Hamilton's first championship in 2008 showcased the team's ability to fight toe-to-toe with Ferrari under enormous pressure. Over the next few years, their cars remained fast but fragile, capable of winning on Sunday and retiring on the next. The 2012 MP427 might have been the best of them, arguably the fastest car of that season, but operational errors and reliability failures cost them the title. McLaren lived on the edge between brilliance and frustration, always in the fight, never in control. Level 5, good. Williams, 1992 to 1997. Few teams in Formula One history have ever felt as inevitable as Williams in the 1990s. The combination of Adrian Newey's aerodynamic genius, Renault's powerhouse engines, and a roster of world-class drivers created an era that looked unstoppable. The FW14B in 1992 became a technological marvel. Active suspension, traction control, semi-automatic gearbox. It was a glimpse into the sport's future. Nigel Mansell's dominance that year was so overwhelming that he clinched the championship with 5 races to spare. The momentum carried through Prost's 1993 title and into Damon Hill's 1996 triumph. Then came Jacques Villeneuve in 1997, sealing a 5th Drivers' Championship in 6 seasons. The cars were elegant, efficient, and utterly dominant in qualifying. Yet, as quickly as they rose, the empire began to fracture. Renault withdrew its factory support. Newey left for McLaren, and the team's momentum evaporated. What remained was a memory of engineering perfection, a team that ruled an era through intellect and precision before F1's political and technical shifts closed the chapter. Brabham, 1981 to 1983. Under the visionary mind of Gordon Murray, the team became Formula One's creative laboratory. Their 1981 BT49 and BT50 cars embraced bold engineering, flexible suspensions, extreme ground effect concepts, and clever packaging that gave Nelson Piquet the edge to secure the championship. By 1983, Brabham went all in on turbocharging, using BMW's explosive 4-cylinder engine to devastating effect. Piquet won again, becoming the first driver to take a title with a turbo-powered car. Beyond speed, Brabham shaped modern racecraft. They were the first to introduce mid-race refueling as a deliberate strategy, turning pit stops into tactical weapons. Every detail had intent. The cars were brutal, brilliant, and unapologetically experimental. But innovation came at a cost. As budgets grew and regulations tightened, Brabham's daring approach became harder to sustain. By the late 80s, their influence faded. Their impact, though, never did. The team's creativity helped define what Formula One innovation could be. Level 6, great. McLaren, 1988 to 1991. For 4 straight seasons, McLaren operated like a metronome, smooth, precise, and relentlessly efficient. The team's MP4 series, built under Ron Dennis and designed by Steve Nichols and Gordon Murray, combined Honda's V6 turbo power with razor-sharp aerodynamics. The 1988 MP4/4 remains the single most successful F1 car ever built, winning 15 of 16 races. Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost turned each Grand Prix into an internal duel that defined a generation. Every lap carried tension, 2 world champions sharing one garage, separated by philosophy and pride. Their dominance was more than speed, it was discipline. They refined reliability into an art form and weaponized teamwork into victory. Even as the rivalry escalated, from Senna's dive at Suzuka to Prost's retaliation the next year, McLaren stayed on top. Between 1988 and 1991, they collected 4 consecutive constructors' titles and turned Formula One into their private theatre. The combination of talent, technology, and precision left rivals chasing shadows. When Honda withdrew, the dynasty began to fade, but those 4 years set a standard for how a team could control an era through pure execution. Red Bull, 2010 to 2013. At the dawn of F1's modern aerodynamic age, Red Bull Racing found the perfect balance between brainpower and speed. Adrian Newey's designs transformed the RB6 through RB9 into masterpieces of airflow. Every line on the car served a purpose. Every curve channeled downforce. Sebastian Vettel's driving style matched it perfectly. Fearless entry speeds, surgical control, and a focus that never broke. The team's pit stops became benchmarks, their strategies aggressive but clean. In those 4 years, Red Bull won 47 races and 4 straight world championships, reshaping what a private team could achieve against automotive giants. Their dominance reached its peak in 2013 when Vettel won 9 races in a row, an unmatched display of mechanical and mental precision. The partnership between Newey's vision and Vettel's rhythm gave Red Bull a reputation for perfection under pressure. When new hybrid regulations arrived in 2014, their reign ended abruptly, but the mark remained. They showed how a team built on creativity and trust could dethrone long-established empires. Mercedes, 2014 to 2020. When Formula One switched to the hybrid turbo era, Mercedes arrived like a machine already tuned to victory. Years of preparation at their Brixworth engine facility gave them an unmatched head start. The W05's power unit wasn't just strong, it was efficient, reliable, and adaptable. The team's internal rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg gave their dominance an edge. The garage atmosphere balanced excellence with volatility, but the results spoke louder than the tension. 7 straight constructors' titles followed, a streak unmatched in F1 history. The W07 and W11 cars became modern icons, combining downforce, power, and consistency across seasons where others simply couldn't keep up. Mercedes managed success like an engineering corporation rather than a racing team, calm, methodical, always learning. Every race felt calculated, every victory part of a larger system. Even as competition from Ferrari and Red Bull flared briefly, Mercedes never cracked. Their control of Formula One was complete, a reign built on science, stability, and relentless perfection. Level 7. GOAT. Ferrari, 2000 to 2004. The early 2000s Ferrari team stands as the most complete Formula One machine ever assembled. Every department worked in harmony: the strategy of Ross Brawn, the engineering of Rory Byrne, and the relentless precision of Michael Schumacher. Their dominance began in 2000 when Ferrari finally ended a 21-year championship drought. By 2001, the Scarlet cars were untouchable. Schumacher's discipline paired perfectly with Brawn's tactical brilliance. Pit stops ran with military efficiency, and their reliability bordered on mechanical art. From 2000 to 2004, Ferrari won 57 of 85 races, securing 5 consecutive drivers' titles and 6 constructors' crowns. The 2002 F2002 and the 2004 F2004 were technical masterpieces, light, efficient, and blisteringly fast in every condition. Ferrari's control became so absolute that the FIA introduced new regulations to slow them down. The team's aura extended beyond racing. Their red uniforms and Schumacher's calm confidence became symbols of inevitability. Every Sunday felt like an exhibition, every lap another reminder that Formula One was living in Ferrari's world. Red Bull, 2022 to present. When Formula One returned to ground effect aerodynamics in 2022, Red Bull Racing entered with an understanding no one else matched. Adrian Newey's RB18 was a blend of balance and raw efficiency, perfectly suited for Max Verstappen's precision-heavy driving style. The car's straight-line speed and tyre management turned races into clinics. Verstappen broke record after record, most wins in a season, most laps led, highest win percentage, and did it with a calm, almost unshakable rhythm. The RB19 refined the formula further, dominating qualifying, strategy, and race pace alike. Behind the scenes, Christian Horner's leadership and Newey's technical philosophy formed the same kind of symbiosis that once powered Ferrari's empire. Verstappen's partnership with Red Bull evolved into a machine of consistency. Small errors vanished, and confidence became muscle memory. Their lead grew so vast that many races shifted focus to the battle for second place. The level of control was almost clinical, and yet the precision carried its own beauty. And that's it. Now to you, if the rules never changed, which team's era do you think would still be going today? Comment down below, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.